answer.
Things under my pillow.
Read the literature. I know it's boring. To me, I was a tweaker when I came in. I couldn't sleep. After a couple lines out of the big book, I was sleeping like a baby.
By the way, nice paranoia.
And find your groove. Yeah, well, this can also be.
That's quite fantastic.
They call it a social experiment. You don't have to.
Only had a couple of.
Nobody cares.
I mean, I'm a one day at a time type of guy, so I know what's waiting for me if I go pick up.
Okay, same
nothing
difference.
But cops, misery,
again,
and
drama
and
that doesn't necessarily have to be drama. In your
And,
particular case, yeah, there's probably some
today.
truth to it, but
So,
truthfully, not really.
Just,
so, in
don't
this
drink, go to
shorter
meetings, and come
episode
back
today,
tomorrow.
since it went so long last
Absolutely.
time, what would you like to say
and I
to
will
that
speak to
person
those
who's getting
with
ready to
5+
do
years.
their
And since this
third
is our
step?
first episode, I'll explain.
Just trust in the
Ian's
process.
probably got a different number, and we'll take turns sending out our
that's
future
the deep
messages
moment?
and our past message. My message is for those who have 5+ years.
All
Because
right, what
I don't
would you
think
like
you know
to say
shit
to
until you
our-
have 5 years in the program. And then at 5 years, you wake up one morning and you go, oh, now I get
Like
it.
it says in the book.
It might happen sooner for you, but it is based on my opinion and what I have seen out of people.
Okay.
Takes about 5 years.
What would you like
Fair
to
number?
say to
Plus or minus
the
5
absolute
years?
newcomer?
The absolute. Just worry about step one. Just worry.
It's
Don't
probably
drink.
3 to 5,
Go to
but
meetings,
I like
come
rounding
back
up to an easy
I
number.
would say 3 to 5. It depends on the
Okay,
person.
and what would you like to say to our
We're not
little
supposed to talk
30-dayer
about
who's following
personalities,
along?
But
Congratulations.
there's a couple moments of
My
clarity
30
that I
days
got
actually,
early on,
OJ
and I
got acquitted
realized
from
it.
2 murders.
And I just.
But I was not.
My responsibilities
anyway, so
increased, and I
he
had
got to go home
to
that night after
really,
killing 2 people, and
really
I
stay
was
sober
with,
for that. And it's when,
several
for
years
me,
of
it's when life is
Arizona,
going good, like at 5
that
years
was
or
one of
6
my
years
moments
or
of
7
clarity
years.
that I needed to change.
That's when I get complacent. That's
For
when
my
I
30
feel
days,
like I don't
I
need
recall standing
a
in a
higher
courtroom
power.
getting ready
I
to
don't
evict a
need,
family who had
to
recently
talk to
lost
other
their
addicts
son
or
up in the
alcoholics.
San
I
Gabriel
don't
Mountains.
need a
I, of course,
spiritual
working for a bank and newly
solution in my
sober,
life.
finding this to be the most horrific thing I've ever
that's
been
when I get in
presented with,
trouble.
then subsequently
And
went
that's,
forward and evicted him.
And luckily
As well.
I've been around enough to
While the news
realize
cameras
that
were
that's,
outside.
No,
that's
what
happening.
we do is not
And,
really
in the beginning.
Yeah, but
for
you know me
pause
pretty
is a
well. It's
great
kind of
weapon
who I am,
when
isn't it?
When I
Yeah.
when I
Well,
want to
that's
act
what
out,
happens.
I try and pause.
As we get
Definitely when I have cravings to drink or use, I pause. Because no matter what I'm feeling, good, bad, or indifferent, it's going to change. This too shall pass, whether it's good, whether it's bad. So as long as I can hold on to my ass long enough that that feeling goes
Okay.
away,
I believe that.
I'm going to have a shot at making it a productive day.
Ripping off
And
drug dealers does not
my
work.
problem is my 2
I wish
biggest
it
fears
did,
are fear of
because
success
it'd
and
be
fear
pretty
of
good.
failure.
Well, it's fun.
So,
It's fun because they're stupid.
When one's stronger than the other, I'm going to have a great day.
Yeah, and no,
When the
you
other
do it.
one's
You do it for
stronger,
the. You
it's
got to do it
not
for the
gonna be
thrill.
that
You
good.
can't,
It'll probably
like,
be fun.
There's a lot
but it won't
easier
be
ways
that
to make
productive.
money. That somehow
what you find
screams
out later on.
oxymoron.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
it does. Well, that's how I know I'm in
half
the
of
right
the
place, being
effort
recovered.
legitimately.
Yeah.
And make twice.
Well, my
Twice
message
the
today
money,
is for those
right.
that have 5+
Welcome to
years.
real estate.
It is not a message of hope. My message of hope is to the person who has 1 day listening to this for the first time. You who have 1 day, you are statistically
I
more
would like to
likely
close
going to
the
see
show
5
for the
years
newcomer
without
and say
drinking
none
or
of you
using
are
again.
newcomers and
Those
most
of you listening to the
relapsed
shows who
anyway,
have
and
5+ years,
what a
you are
shame.
more
You
statistically
never even
likely
made
to
it to step
drink
3.
before
Horrible
the
statistic.
other person.
Now, of the
newcomers kinda
100
have
or so
you.
of you following along with
Was
this
that
program
dicky on
and
my
working
part?
your way
I
up
wanted
and
to
down
end
the
on a
food chain,
dicky note.
Sorry you fell off on the extra long episode.
it
I
was
thought
pretty
the
dicky,
content of step 2
But
was
hey,
compelling.
if you and I
then
can
again,
stay sober,
what
anybody
do I
can,
know?
buddy.
That is real
one of my
proof, and
favorite
we'll definitely
topics
get
to
into our
debate.
stories because
So-
tune in next time to step 1.
It is, and
We're gonna go one by one.
The 6
For these first 13 episodes,
third steps
we will
I've
tell our
done.
stories and we will
6,
put them into
maybe
practical
more.
play.
6,
Just so you know,
they've all been the same thing. Well, do you
Ian
believe in
is
God?
a God-fearing
You gonna drink your problems over to him?
NACA guy. I am.
Okay.
God's on my side.
I'm an atheist.
I still haven't had a spiritual
I
awakening
believe you
from
can
that
be
one.
either
I
one
haven't
and
had a
still get
door
sober.
open.
Absolutely.
I don't have to be to the agnostic.
Still hasn't happened.
I'm telling you straight up. If you got no belief in a higher power, trust me, the other steps will kind of work themselves
I've
out for
done
you.
all 12 steps.
Yeah.
We get to it. I'll explain it.
consecutively.
I don't want to give away the
without break
punchline, but the
at
punchline is
least
that
4
if you're going to be a
times
real
in the
atheist, the
past
secret,
22 years.
you've got to be
And I
100%
have never
honest
had a
in your
spiritual
entire
awakening
lifestyle.
from all 12 of the steps
You literally
multiple
have
times
to be honest
and
all
on
the time.
tune-up.
You cannot. because you have nothing to fall back on. There's no
I keep
higher
waiting
power.
for
No, if you
I don't
really
wanna,
live
like,
the atheist
bum
lifestyle,
out the new
those are
person
the honest
listening to
people in the
this
room.
show, but
If they're not,
I-
they're not being
it
honest.
is a very
You
real
kind of
thing
have to be
say,
congruent to
yeah,
it. But
look,
I don't want to
white
turn
doves aren't
anybody
gonna fly out
off
of your
before we
ass,
get there. I'm just
and you're
saying,
not
if
gonna
you have issues with
automatically stay
God,
sober
great,
because
hang
of
in
this.
there. We'll talk about it.
Is that
Everybody
That's a
does,
fair assumption.
to some degree
that's a fair
or
assumption,
another.
right?
A little.
And now that
not even
now
that
that one of the
extreme,
physicists has
'cause you've met
completely
most
confirmed the
people
fact that
who-
we are biological experiments in a petri
Again,
dish,
this is why I got to say it's got to be
I'm
about
trying
a
to
5-year
mentally
thing, 'cause
wrap
at
my
5
brains
years,
around that one these
at least
days.
you calm
Is that
down
crazy
a little.
conspiracy theory stuff?
It's
So
like a little bit too much
Yeah, see, I
THC
went
to me.
through my step
Maybe.
the first time because
Maybe.
I was like,
but that's a physicist. So tune in again
the second time
next week.
I did
Sign
a-
up here on Spreaker. It will be on iTunes, SoundCloud,
Oh,
Stitcher,
they got better. Of the
and
4, I think the third
iHeartRadio.
and the
Takes a
fourth
couple of
one
weeks for
by
those to
far
happen.
my
But if you're
best.
listening to it off this
well,
link,
because that's
click
what
on the little button
Right.
on your
Well, no,
player
it's not
and
even
sign
marked
up,
to the
so you'll
press.
have the show
Then you
next
have
week.
enough
We'll also make
frame
sure
of
you
mind to
guys
go
have it in the
back and
feed.
go, hey,
Send
what
us an
happened as a
email
kid, here's what happened.
at
Like,
black, the word black,
you
the
can
word
really
white,
clean up shit.
the word recovery, 3 words, black, white, recovery, at gmail.com,
Oh, that's good
and we'll
times.
answer
I
all of
appreciate
your
that stuff.
questions. I would love to do a mailbag session next week. This time next week, everybody.
No, I
Okay, set your
personally,
clocks to it.
appreciate
Step
that.
one. So if you're
That's-
waiting to do your step
that's
one,
me, you know.
I highly
It is.
recommend you wait till you hear from
anything
us.
you'd like
I've
to add
done
to this episode?
No.
3 or 4 different
No,
versions of
just
the
thanks for joining
silly
us,
thing.
Because we
I
still
don't-
have
it's-
no email to
Have you
read
done
at this
this-
point in the show.
Everybody's got a
Really?
spin on
None.
step one.
And
Everybody.
the workbook
4
is
weeks
pretty
in,
intense.
no
Well,
email.
Nobody
Yes.
listens live.
I'm glad I got clean
I'm
before
telling
that came
you
out.
that this goes up
Yeah,
on
mine
all
was
the sober
in the
groups.
hospital, and it was so
I'm
telling
shocking
you,
to
there are
me to hear
actual
my
people
life
who
story
listen to this
that
show.
even
Not
I
one of
was
these
like,
deadbeats,
I had the out of body
newbies,
of
newcomers.
who the hell is this?
Yeah.
This doesn't even sound
Black,
real.
white recovery.
So we'll talk about it
3
next
words,
week,
black,
and
white, recovery.
having your first
Black, white recovery.
out of body
Want to find the show?
experience,
Just
hearing
type
your
in
stories.
black, white
Hopefully
recovery.
that works for you.
Starting next week,
Again,
it'll even
black,
be
white,
on
recovery
iHeartRadio.
at
We
Gmail.
will have. We will
Send
be
us
on
an
the
email. We'll
cool
read them on the air next
pro-
week. Hopefully we
app.
hear from you.
I'm a big
Certainly,
fan of
Ian would be
iHeartRadio.
more than happy
Better
to
than iTunes.
talk
Everybody
about
has
whatever you
iHeartRadio.
send in. I'm sure.
And it's
I
pretty
personally don't
universal.
care if you guys
So
ever
this will be
write
a
in,
very simple show to get a
um,
hold of.
which will probably ensure I get
all you gotta remember
emails
3
of
words,
people
black,
who hate me.
White,
I'm
recovery.
sure of it.
Hate mail.
He's the white hat. I'm
Well,
the
what
black
I would
hat.
say is write about it and tell your sponsor if you hate
Certainly
me
there's
after the
some
first
level
episode.
of recovery, and I think anybody
And
listening
I'm glad.
can agree
And I'm glad
that
to
on
know my
some
egotistical
level
self is
we
glad
have
to know that
something.
somewhere there's
You
somebody
probably have more
writing
than
about
me.
me and telling their sponsor.
Or you're more full of
Nice.
it than me.
Nice, right?
Nice, absolutely.
Thank you.
Tune
I'm
in
proud of
next
that
week.
one.
We will be here, everyone. Thank you for
A
listening.
little bit of both.
Thanks for keeping me sober.
Tune in next week. We will be doing your favorite step of them all, everyone. Step 4. And to be perfectly honest, we'll make it. I'll give you an interesting precursor to it. Ian and I will admit to being thorough and honest, and do some of the things that are on our step 4 for you that we deem horrifying. Probably the first time we put them down, and now 20 years after the fact, they're not so bad.
Yeah.
They're really I have been a sponsor, and I have heard things where I went, wow. You need to tell a chaplain. You don't need to tell me this stuff. Wow. If your sponsor has ever said that to you, you have a good 4-step. You really, that's thorough, boy. If your sponsor looks at you and tells you you need a therapist, a chaplain, and a lawyer, that's a good 4-step. Just saying. Black, white recovery.
Yeah, usually a lawyer.
A lawyer would be good. Yeah.
A lawyer, guns, and money. If you need that on your 4-step, you're okay. You had a good time.
And we will argue the structure of 4 steps, traditional as compared to neo, post-apocalyptic, modern, that you kids today like to do.
The charts.
The charts.
Fill in the blank.
Charts. Holy
Like
crap!
Mad-
The columns.
Mad Libs Recovery.
It's Mad Libs Recovery. We are back to the columns. Are you still making people do the columns?
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you really?
I actually like the charts. I mean, I do the charts for my 10-step.
Do you really?
Yeah, but whenever I do a first 4
Do you do the 7 deadly sin column and the whole on the chart thing? And
I don't think that's on the charts.
I know if you're doing the column version, they want to know which
ways of how it affected
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You're hardcore. You're what they call, wow, how ironic. They would call you a book Nazi. You're a step Nazi.
I could be, yeah.
Have you been called a step Nazi?
Yes, I have.
Kind of ironic in a strange way, too. All right. I like the humor in that. That'll do it for this week. Tune in next week while we expose horrifying shadows of our past and expose our step 4 and probably not really besmirch ourselves at all. To be perfectly honest, driving while intoxicated and running over a few curbs and taking out a few innocent bystanders, that's kind of common in our line of work. Kind of.
Yeah, that's a given. That's
the easy stuff. So if that's the worst you got on your list, hang out for another week. Stay sober for another week. Prove to me that you can do it. Yeah. I am still looking forward to being somewhere in the country where somebody goes, bro, I listened to your show and I stayed sober just because I didn't want you to be right. Hey, good.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to it.
When are you going to post this? Because I actually have a speaking engagement at Scottsdale's Friday Night Speakers.
I'm going to post this. What's today? We're recording right now. It is Tuesday, right? Or Wednesday?
It's
Wednesday. This show will be posted and out tonight. So okay. I can get it out and up so you can disperse it on Thursday. So everybody listening to it now, whatever day it is, but hopefully on Thursday for the live run or after it airs, where will you be speaking on Friday, Ian?
905 East McDonald in Scottsdale at Valley Presbyterian Church. Scottsdale Friday Night Speakers. It is a double speaker meeting, 1 female, 1 male, and it is at 7:30 p.m. on Friday.
How many minutes are you doing?
20 to 25.
Will it all be what it's like now?
Yes.
Do you do any of your past at all?
Not for that meeting.
I don't think any of that matters.
A lot of H&I do to help relate with people, but yeah, no, not for that meeting.
Will you sign big books if anybody comes up to you to get a phone number and a signature?
Of course. When I first got sober, they used to call that meeting "Quit Drinking, Drive a Lincoln," and then it was called the See and Be Seen meeting. Now,
so it's a meat shop.
It used to be.
It's not a meat market anymore.
Not anymore, no.
Oh, bummer.
No, otherwise I wouldn't be speaking. Out in the audience.
The one in Southern California is the Pasadena Women's Club. It was known as the meat market. It was a speaker meeting, and it was absolutely about going there to hook up.
Yeah.
You might as well just dangle meat off your tail.
Nice.
I mean, it is just that bad.
Aren't there a lot of vegetarians out there?
No, not really.
No.
It's completely overrated.
That's a whole other deal, too.
That's a whole other deal and a different religion altogether. Say something encouraging to the newcomer.
Life will get better. Might not get better right away. But the things that you think that you need today, you really don't need at all.
The management apologizes for today's show. Please send your complaints to blackwhiterecovery@gmail.com. That's the words black, the word white, and the word recovery @gmail.com.
Dearly beloved, are you listening? I can't remember a word that you were saying.